What's going on? This is Bruce Matson from RotoBaller.com, and I'm here to talk about the top 5 rookie running backs that we're going to be looking at drafting this year in our fantasy leagues. A lot of these guys are going to be the top guys selected in this year's draft. They're guys that we're feasting to draft in some of our dynasty leagues, but they are the head honchos coming into this year's rookie class, and we're going to talk about them right now. First running back that we're going to talk about today on this list is Breece Hall, running back from Iowa State. He stands at 5'11", weighs in at 217 pounds, rushed for 3,941 yards and 50 touchdowns over his 3-year career. He also caught 82 passes. This season, he averaged 2.83 yards after contact per attempt, forced 74 missed tackles. And then at the combine, just a week or so ago, he ran a 4.39 40-yard dash with a decent size-adjusted speed score. Breece Hall gives you everything. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He's physical. He can run between the tackles. He can get you yards in the open field. He is the top running back in this class. We should see him surrender at least second-round draft capital, and that should be enough to get him opportunity early in his career to get a sizable amount of touches, and we could see him be an impact for fantasy teams as early as his rookie season. Moving on to our second running back on this list, and here we're going to be talking about Kenneth Walker, running back from Michigan State. Blew up this season, rushed for over 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns. He's 5'9", 211 pounds. Ran a 4.38 40-yard dash at the combine. This year, he led all running backs with 84 missed tackles. He also averaged 4.46 yards after contact per attempt. Compared to the rest of running backs in his class, he might have the best vision of them all. He has an excellent awareness of what's going on around him, a good approach to the line of scrimmage. He likes to play cat and mouse with the defenders, especially those linebackers before he hits the hole, and then he does have some extra speed once he hits the open field, and he's also very elusive. Does a good job reading the momentum of the defenders around him. I see him getting drafted in the second round as well, getting decent draft capital, and should be in the position to at least compete for touches early in his career, and we could see him be a trendy option in fantasy drafts this year. We should see him get drafted somewhere in the early to mid rounds of fantasy drafts. Just depends on his situation and where he lands in the actual NFL draft. Moving on to our third player on this list, here is Isaiah Spiller, running back from Texas A&M. Another running back who should get good draft capital, another running back who should be drafted anywhere in the second or third round, land on a team where he should get touches early in his career. He's 6 foot, 217 pounds, and he runs laterally very well. He's very elusive, and he does have some burst. This year, rushed for over 1,000 yards, had 6 touchdowns, but averaged 3.63 yards after contact per attempt. He also forced 56 missed tackles. He's also used in the passing game. Over the course of his career, he got 68 passes. This year, we saw him use more in the passing game, receiving targets heavily downfield. Look for him to be an impact this year in fantasy one way or another. He's going to compete for touches. We could see him become the lead dog for his new NFL team. If not, he'll be worked in slowly throughout the year. He's another guy that we need to look for in fantasy drafts this season. Next running back off the board here, our RB4 on the list, is Zamir White, running back from Georgia. He might be the biggest value of all the running backs in this class. He had 2 ACL injuries early in his collegiate career, but since then he has bounced back, rushed for over 1,400 yards and 20 touchdowns in his last 2 seasons. This year, he averaged 3.66 yards after contact per attempt, and he forced 31 missed tackles. This guy has some burst. He has some speed, ran a 4.4 40-yard dash, and that's with him being at 5'11", 214 pounds, so that's a decent size-adjusted speed score. I could see him getting decent draft capital, getting drafted higher than expected, and working his way up the depth chart throughout the offseason, maybe early on in the season. He might make an impact for us in fantasy this year as a rookie. If not, he might be a trendy guy that we pluck up off the waiver wire. If anything, he's a guy to monitor because this guy has a lot of juice. He runs with a lot of pop, and if he gets the opportunity, he could hit big for our fantasy teams. The fifth running back on the list that I'm going to talk about today is Tyler Algier, running back from BYU. He's a thick running back at 5'10", 224 pounds, and he was very productive this season, rushing for over 1,400 yards and 20 touchdowns. He averaged 3.93 yards after contact per attempt while forcing 69 missed tackles. At the combine, he ran a 4.6 40-yard dash. From what we see on tape, he is a grinder who can grind it out between the tackles, but also has some pop once he sees daylight in open field, can catch the ball a little bit out of the backfield, and is a guy NFL teams may want to lean on short yardage and goal line situations, but he also has the size and the durability and the size-adjusted speed to be a 3-down workhorse at the next level. If he gets the opportunity to see a sizable workload, he could hit for us in fantasy. We might see him get drafted in the 3rd round of this year's draft. If that does happen, we will want to monitor his status throughout the season. But that's my top 5 rookie running backs for the 2022 NFL season. As of right now, things are definitely going to change once the NFL draft happens. Some of these guys are going to fall in the draft. They'll go farther down than expected. Some of these guys will go to a better landing spot than expected. Some of these guys will go to a team that we're not excited about, and that's just part of the game. But right now, these are the guys that we're hitching our wagon to. But let me know what running backs you're looking to draft in your fantasy leagues for the 2022 NFL season. Drop that in the comments, and we'll catch you next time.